Sorry, I was muted. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Black Man Unfiltered. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Mel. And welcome, everyone, to another one of our fantastic broadcasts. I hope everyone's having a fantastic week. I'm Lexi Maxwell, in case you didn't know my name or who I was, in case you're tuning in for the first time. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video. And today we're going to be talking about unrealistic expectations and responsibilities in monogamous relationships. So I think that putting monogamy into a relationship could obviously, I think, strain it. It could strain it. I think a lot of conversation, a lot of honesty is required in order for a couple to really have a healthy monogamous relationship, because I don't think it's natural for some men or all men to be monogamous. I think it's a choice that the man or makes, and then that's a gift that he's giving the woman, because I don't know, that's kind of torture. Imagine like a man, he's got that energy to not like just be with a woman for physical, just that, not for the emotional, just a physical animalistic need. um that makes, I think it's natural, he gives that up. He gives that up to be with one woman. um and I understand that some men adhere to this, but I think that if a man adheres to wanting monogamy in a relationship because that's how he feels, and he could manage himself, or it's not that, it's not anything that he prioritizes, um he still should have a partner that satisfies all his needs. um I think when a woman requires monogamy, then she's kind of implying that she will be everything he needs. She will be his, lady in the streets and his little slut in the sheets. um because, you know if he isn't if he isn't getting his needs met, then you can't hold him to monogamy, right? I mean, like, then you're really torturing his natural tendency, especially if he's telling you what his needs are and you are refusing to meet it for whatever reason. Maybe you have sexual hangups on some of the things that he's into, wants to do with you, wants to try and explore, and so you withhold. Hi, Eugene. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Um, we're talking about expectations and responsibilities in monogamous relationships. So let me know how what you feel about that. Um, if she says, "Oh no, I'm not going to do that," is he supposed to just be like, "Okay, babe, I guess I'll surrender that fantasy," or if she uses or weaponizes sex, like we hear sometimes happens in relationships, I think that's not fair. If he's agreeing to be monogamous, I think it really puts a lot of responsibility on the woman, I think. Because he can, if he wants to cheat, he's going to cheat. If he wants to do whatever he wants, he's going to do it. It's just depending what type of man he is and how he moves. If you find out or you don't. So, but the woman has a responsibility to really satisfy him in every way, along with sexually, and his kinks, and his, fantasies and what he's into. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to, you know, go there and free yourself? Because I think it could be fun. I mean, if you are getting what you want from your man, right? To now be like, you know what? Let me unleash my inner slut in my relationship. It's nobody's business. Nobody has to know what's happening. And you let him have it. You give it to him, and you don't hold back. And you make that commitment with yourself. Like, I have a man who's devoted to me, who's monogamous to me. And you see that as a gift. And he's a good provider, a good father. He's just an overall great guy. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna do these things with him that I've never done with anybody else, or do these things with him that I've judged. I'm just gonna do it. Why? Because if I don't satisfy these needs that he has, someone will. And I promise you, somebody will. He could find it, pay for it, he can procure it. It's just about how big the urge is for him to experience something different. So I wonder how couples who manage and navigate, this type of negotiation, um, do they find that they have great communication, so much so that it doesn't take away from their relationship? Or do they find that they've had problems because of the fact that they agree to having a monogamous relationship on his side? Because I don't think women need to be sleeping around, and I don't think monogamy is negotiable on the female side. A woman, when she's married to that man, and that's just how it goes. Of course, unless your dynamic is that you have a relationship with your wife, that she's a hot wife and you're a cuckold, and that's a whole different conversation. Um, but yeah, do couples find that they make this agreement and it causes strife, or do they find that they're really able to, in some cases, keep it honest, keep it open, and explore and grow together, especially those moments when maybe either side gets that craving or gets an urge to do something outside of the agreement of the relationship that they're currently in. So I do wonder, how do people navigate that? For me, I participate in my relationships when I'm in a committed exclusive relationship. It has to be within the fundamentals of BDSM. It has to be with a master, and I'm a submissive. So those rules and regulations and that dynamic is very specific for us because it's in a contract and it's discussed, and there's a way that we move to manage um, what we want as a goal in the relationship, and what is expected, so that there's no confusion or miscommunication. So um, I think that a lot of times women don't think about, and the responsibility that they're putting upon themselves by not negotiating properly with their partner, so that the whole load isn't on them. They don't have all of the responsibility of the relationship. They could agree, or wow, and you go out of town on a boys trip with the guys. I don't know what's happening. Use a condom, and I don't want to hear about it. I mean, that's a reasonable negotiation. Uh, he respects that. He doesn't put you in a predicament where now you are emotionally a mess because he was sloppy. No, he goes on his vacation, he goes on the way with the fellas, has fun, blah blah blah, comes home, babe, I missed you, here's a souvenir for you and the kids, and you guys keep it moving and keep growing and have a successful dynamic marriage that works for you, and it um to consenting to having a non-monogamous relationship. That's an actual thing that couples can do, and you could set the terms. Um, Hi, hello, welcome everyone. Hi, JT. Hi, what we know. It's all things that can be negotiated, and if you really are honest, if you really are honest, you could really have the most beautiful, genuine relationship you've ever had. You share your fantasies with your husband, because I think women have fantasies. I mean, like the woman that you start off being in the relationship 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years in, you might, and he might too. He might say, um, when I go away with the fellas, I want to be able to have some fun or whatever it is. And it doesn't take away from your relationship. It actually brings you closer. Um, and I think the responsibility on the woman to take care of all his needs, especially if he has like a high libido level, and you're like, you're taking care of the house, maybe you work, you're taking care of your children, maybe you take care of your parents, and then you have a husband who's like, he wants it often, and you're tired, and you can't give it to him the way that he wants. He wants you to do all the kinks, or he wants you to, dress sexy, and you're just like, oh my God, I just want to get this done. You might, agreement, because otherwise he might step out in a way that's unhealthy, that in a way that doesn't bring any goodness back to your home. Because now there's deceit and there's guilt and there's shame. You should be able to dialogue, you should be able to talk and say, I need to redefine this relationship, I need something different, I need something more, and assure your partner it's nothing to do with, it's not nothing to do with them, the way that you're made, and you just need to get these areas covered. um we can drop the link in case anybody does want to come up and contribute, and share how, having monogamous relationships has non-monogamous relationship has worked for them or not. I think I just think that sometimes females don't take the time to understand what type of man they married. You know what I mean? You met him and you fell in love with him one way, and when he, now he's your husband, so you expect something a little different. And it's like, no, that's not the way he was. He's always been this way. Why are you trying to, limit his human experience in essence? Why don't you try to then learn what he really needs from you? The one, and you were really just pretending, that's terrible too. But that'll get people in trouble. That will get people in trouble. But is anyone in the chat married or in a committed relationship? If you don't want to come on the panel, you're welcome to answer in the chat. I don't know. I don't believe in girls' trips. I think that's way too troublemaker status. Maybe because that's my personality, that I like to have a good time. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm freezing up, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna step out, come back, and I'm just gonna play the intro again, and then I'll be right back. Okay? Excuse me. All right, I think we're back, and I hope that's better. Welcome back, everyone. We had a little technical difficulties. Hi, Jenny. Nice to see you here. Um, Jenny, we are talking about unrealistic expectations and responsibilities in monogamous relationships, and also consensual monogamous, non-monogamous relationships. But really tapping into, if women understand the level of responsibility that they're taking upon themselves when they ask their man to be monogamous. Is she willing to access that inner sexual goddess, because that's what, if he requires that, and that's not a space that you're comfortable in or familiar in, you might want to start doing some work and studying that. And there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of people that teach classes on really helping you as a female connect your mind, your body, and your vagina. You know what I mean? Connecting your mind, your heart, your body, and your vagina. A lot of times there's like a whole disconnect going on within those organs in female bodies because of social things or religion or how you grew up and things like that. And then you suppress your own sexual urges and you bring that into your marriage or relationship, right? You try to play the part of this beautiful vanilla, couple, and I'm a good wife and I don't do that. And he's he plays the part of a husband. I would never want, I would never, we have a great sex life. We don't do that kind of kinky stuff. And then they both deep down inside have a deep need and desire to do something different with each other, maybe with other people. But I think when a woman receives the gift of monogamy from her husband or the, committed exclusive relationship, it comes with a responsibility that she can either see like cumbersome or she could see it as an opportunity for her to access an energy within her that was dormant. And now because of the type of husband she married, type of man that she's with, he has a high libido. He has really freaky side. Hi, Marcus. Hi, Marcus. How are you, sweetie pie? Espero que te estés sintiendo mejor porque estás bastante enfermito, pero espero que te estés sintiendo mejor. Gracias, Marcus. Te lo agradezco. It gives you the opportunity now to be like, okay, wow, he's into that. I've never done that. Or he's into that. Ooh, that kind of matches my fantasy. We should talk this through a little bit more. Versus, I think, or what I've seen or even heard are that, couples get married or they're exclusive and then he gives her the gift of monogamy and she weaponizes it, or she's like a little bit of a bitch. Like, she's like if she's the prize, I'm the prize. Hi, Sir Hale Speaks. How are you? Welcome. she's the prize. So because she's the prize, that means that he should do whatever she says. And then she thinks that that's the dynamic of a proper dominant submissive relationship. No, absolutely not. You're demasculating your male partner because at that point he's not even a man. So you're just emasculating him. Like, how dare you, right? To be to be expecting monogamy, and then on top of that, controlling when he gets to have sex with you. Are you kidding me? You better be ready, girl. You better be ready. Like when that man says, babe, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think maybe you could, maybe you can use an excuse occasionally. Sometimes you're not in the mood, or maybe you can kind of renegotiate how to meet his need. Oh, baby, I got you tomorrow morning. I don't know. People have responsibilities. People have children. Or you like, don't worry. I got on date night. I got you. I'm gonna give it to you the way you like it, baby. And then you do. And I think that that's fair, right? If he's giving you really a monogamous relationship, as far as you can tell, um, then you can have fun and don't hold back on your womanhood and be his. If he wants a little slut, then you be the nastiest one he ever had. Let's see. Eugene Steele asks, when getting into a relationship, there are sacrifices that need to be made. There are some wives who do not perform kinky acts, so men have to sacrifice those acts being done to him. To me, it's okay. So some wives who do not perform kinky acts. So I mean, so you are okay with um sacrificing your sexual needs? Well, that's crazy. That's supernatural to me. I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like, I don't know. I would not be supportive or happy in a relationship that way. I don't think you should sacrifice your sexual needs. But if you do, I don't know. I think sometimes that's why people have mental health problems, because they're not getting it the way they need it. You know, that's why uh, when women have issues in the reproductive system, is they get a hysterectomy because they could be hysterical because they're not getting that release that your body needs. It's just a natural thing. So if it works for you and your wife, Eugene, like, God bless you guys. Um, I think a woman uh, could have some hard limits, but she should have fun and explore her kinks, especially if her husband has an appetite for certain things. Then. But if that's what works for you, and you are okay as the male in the relationship as the man, then wow, kudos to you. That, I don't know, that's a lot, but my hat goes off to you that you're able to withhold on some of your fantasies because your wife isn't interested in participating in that. Oh, is that what it is, Pulp Man? Is that kind of a spiritual man thing to be able to do that? Because that doesn't sound, for me, it doesn't sound like a natural human tendency. I don't know. I think that has to be covered with a lot of other stuff because I just don't know why. But some people don't really prioritize. Hi, missionary Mike. Maybe some people do sacrifice their sexual needs and sexual fantasies. I just think that when people do that, they go outside the marriage and try to meet. The poom poom is good enough. Yeah, he's happy. It works like that. That's fine. That's fantastic. Good for him. Some men are happy. And I guess it might be maybe. Um, are you a religious person, Eugene, or is this, maybe it's just the way he's comfortable with that. Um, the the men that uh, if you material fleshly, you don't. I don't really know what that means, Pope man. However, I think if you have, oh, okay, well, then that's fantastic. You're very comfortable with a vanilla, lifestyle, or even just vanilla interaction is suffices you and your wife's needs. So, I mean, I know vanilla couples. I obviously am not one, but I know vanilla couples, and I'm always amazed and curious. Like, really, you're vanilla like that? Um, but you know, some people really are. I I think that people have different sexual DNAs, and I think that if you are able to share with your partner your honest truth and your kinks, it could provide a lot of healing in there for each other individually, and make you stronger as a couple. If you're able to discuss your connection to your trauma that you might have, and how you could use a dynamic like dominant submissive, or just even in vanilla displaying or identifying the roles. You could really heal that aspect of one another, and it manifests and translates into a very diverse and healthy sex life. um, because in order to be able to get to that point that you're sharing your non-vanilla fantasies, you have to talk about it. Right? You just don't bring that into the dynamic without saying to your partner, oh, we need to talk about some things that have been running through my mind. For me, I I have all the men that I've had relationships with. Other women are interested in them too, so I'm not oblivious to the fact that when he goes out of town, when he goes on a business trip, if he goes away out of town with his friends, like he might do something. So in the contract that we negotiate, um, based on him, I make a determination if I want to know about it or if I don't. And I'm very clear about either, or either. And then he respects it, and he handles it in the best way that I already shared would work for me. Um, in two relationships, I didn't want to know, and in one I did, and I was able to handle it all fine. But in the one that I did not want to know, um, one of the ladies he was entertaining occasionally came to our home, so that just changed everything for me. But and that could happen, that can happen, and I just couldn't get back to what it used to be. But we had agreed on having a consensual non-monogamous relationship, and he would be the only one, because I'm not a woman who wants to be with another man, and I just don't think when you're in a committed relationship that a woman gentle, should want that. But if they agree to having a consensual non-monogamous relationship on both sides, then if that what's works for them, then keep pushing through. Keep pushing through. But uh I think that for the man, I I don't know, like when he goes away somewhere, or if he goes somewhere and his wife is not with him, um and he does, is it okay to flirt? Or, what does he do? Like, what happens when he's encountered, right, with somebody that he does connect with, right? And he's like, oh shoot, I'm married, I made this promise, and I said I could handle it. Now I'm out here, and I can't. The barista is hot, the bartender's hot, you know what I mean? And you're just like, how do I control this? Like, how do men control it? How do they control it? Thank you once again. Thank you. How do men control that? Do you like say you just forget about it, and then, or, does it linger? Or do you say, oh, when I get home, I'm gonna, have sex with my wife and pretend she's the barista, the bartender? Or, like, how does that work? Because I just can't imagine, like, um, I know that not every guy is the most attractive and all that stuff, but women flirt, and guys pick up on it, even if he's a little nerdy, like, but how do they handle it? Like, you're just like, do you think, like, I'm gonna suffer and die? How long am I gonna do this? Or are you just like, you guys are able to kind of brush it off? Hi, Brittany. Hi, beautiful. Are you guys able to brush it off? Like, when you like are out there, but you're not supposed to be flirting because you're monogamous, and then you see an energy with a woman. Do you just like, let me leave, let me go home? um Hi, Lady Navoa. Like, how do you do that? Because I think some men, if not, I think most men, it doesn't matter if you're like nerdy. If you want to cheat, you can cheat. Okay, there's somebody out there that you can be with, or you could pay with, or you could figure out a way to do your thing. So, but if you decide that you're going to not do that, how do you suppress that? How long can you suppress that? How do you desensitize from what I associate as the natural tendencies of a man? Um, is it because your lady is everything you want her to be at home, or at least in the bedroom? She is that little slut. She is that naughty little girl that you want. That's what turns you on. It's not just uh, having purely vanilla sex. And I'm not trying to make it all kinky, but that you get your needs met, whatever they might be. Is that enough? You know, uh, is that enough to keep you in a mental state that when you go out, you don't even think about it? Is that really what happens, or is it something that occasionally you have to put effort into not acting upon that urge? And then how do I don't know. Some guys are able to disconnect from things, so I don't know if once they get the urge, they can let it go. I guess maybe they can. Maybe they can, and they just think of their commitment. Think of the promise that they made. Is that what they think about? I made a promise. I made a vow, so I have to now do this. That's that's a lot. That's like a beautiful thing, but that's a lot, I think, for a man to do, or to give away as a gift. And then does the woman, like, can she like say no when he wants to have sex? Can she say, oh no? Can she weaponize it? Or like, oh, I'm mad at you, so now we're not gonna have sex? Is that already something that an agreement or an implied agreement that she's making? If he says yes, I'll be monogamous, and she's implying, and in turn, I'm gonna be as naughty as you want me to be, babe. Don't worry about it. I got you. And then if she says, oh, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. He's supposed to say, okay, then we'll just do these, two positions, and I'll get a blowjob on my birthday, I guess. Is he supposed to be okay with that? And then if he goes out of town for business or goes out of town with his friends, he meets a woman who's nasty and wants to just go wild with him. He's supposed to say, "Oh no, I'm monogamous, and I'm okay with my two positions at home, and I'm okay with blowjob on my birthday." He's supposed to say, "I'm okay," because I wouldn't. If I was a man and a woman told me, "Oh, we only have two positions and you only get a blow," I'm gonna go out of town and I'm gonna wild out. Every time I go out of town, you better believe I'm gonna wild out. And I'll cover it, I'll pretend, and I'll make sure that you never find out. I will play the part. I would. I honestly, I would be like, "Are you crazy?" Then when I leave this house, I have women coming at me who are willing to do X, Y, Z, and I'm supposed to come home and be with you and be happy with two positions and oral sex on my birthday? No, I would be, I would be wilding out. I would be. Excuse me. I would because I just don't think it's. I don't think that's fair. So I'm supposed to suppress my entire or sacrifice, like Eugene kind of said, my sexual needs, my natural sexual DNA. I'm supposed to sacrifice that for you. And what do I get in return? As a man, what do I get in return? A woman who then also limits what she's willing to do with me. So I'm just supposed to be here like a what? Like an ATM machine, like what? Like a doormat? What is he getting out of it? What is he say? He's supposed to just live while looking at porn when his family goes to sleep and feeling like a degenerate because he has these fantasies that he can't be honest about, and his wife puts the limitations on it because she's not comfortable with herself for some reason. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. I think that it's important for you to know who you are with. It's important for women too, because I mean a lot of women that I meet have fantasies and they want to do things too. And I think that if you're in a monogamous marriage or a monogamous relationship, that could be so fun. You can enjoy and explore fantasies and one another in a way that brings you closer and makes the monogamy aspect of the relationship like not a big deal. Hi, dirty folks. Hi. And it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? You're just both having a good time in your monogamous relationship. Hi, dirty folks. Hi, dirty folks. And I even think of your name, I start to laugh because you're so funny. Um, and you're so knowledgeable about things, and the way you put it is fantastic. So it's always a pleasure to see you. Um, and today we're talking about monogamous relationships and the responsibility of the female and the unrealistic expectations that some females put on a man when he agrees to be monogamous. Um, I think, like I said before or a little while ago, if a woman and a man have that dynamic in a relationship, then she really needs to access her inner slut. She just needs to bring it forward because if that's what he likes, and even it's not just about what he likes. It's like be creative, like stay ahead of the game, like anticipate it. Don't wait for him. Just be that. Just be that. Just do the work as a female in that relationship to be that because some women it doesn't come natural and I respect that. Some women it's like something that they have to learn, and read about and educate themselves for with as far as like I married a man who is into this type of activity or likes to see me or use me or make love to me in this type of way, and I have a hard time with that. And it's like, well, you better figure it out because he's going to go get it from somebody. He can go get it from, someone that he pays, or someone that, catches that he's a little deficient and she steps right in and could potentially ruin what you have just because you weren't willing to try something. And then you're like, really? Because I wouldn't do XYZ for my husband, I've lost my whole marriage? Like, that's sounds crazy. Doesn't that sound outrageous? My husband wants me to do this act and I decide not to. And he brings it to me and I fight him on it. Oh, Polkman, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to Black Men Unfiltered. Absolutely. Um, it's like you're gonna destroy your relationship because you have such a hard limit on this act with your husband. Because why? Because you want to be a bitch, because you want to be in control, because you want to just because that's your default behavior. And that happens. I mean, I'm a woman. I know I'm not perfect. We're not perfect, but we have to learn to catch ourselves. We have to learn to check ourselves in our relationships so that when we see our man is like in heat, we're like, oh, I better put this on my calendar and get on this. And you wake up in the morning and you suck that penis and you send him off with his balls drained, and you're like, oh, he's having one of those weeks, and you're just doing your job. You're doing your job. That is your job. Just like he's doing his job, you doing your job. And you get that man calibrated to what he needs so that you don't introduce into your relationship something you have no control over. So while you have him, uh you know in your horizon, while you have him the way that you want him, in essence, adhering to your monogamous request, respecting you, loving you, providing for you, protecting you, all that stuff, then be proactive in what his needs are. Be proactive in what his fantasies might be. Don't hide from that. Don't pretend that doesn't exist. Don't do that to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest about, how do you need to show up in your relationship, and don't have any shame. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's business. Nobody has to know. And you ask them to tell you, detail out what's your fantasy, babe? What do you like? What are you into? Tell me. Ask them, babe, when you are, if you masturbate, what kind of, are you watching porn? What are you watching? What kind of things do you like? How should I dress? What are you into? And be that. Have fun with it too. It's so fun, I think. When you were raised to be a certain way, or you have this shame attached to sex, or shame attached to bringing pleasure to your body, and then you're married, or you're in a relationship with a man who is like telling you, I want to see your naughty side, I want to see your nasty side, and you're there like, oh my god, but I don't know, oh my god, what is he, and he's telling you, no, I need this, like, I need this, and you're like, but I don't want to do that. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Yeah, shout out to Dirty Folks and Lady Navoa. Um, and that's not fair. That's not fair because I think that's one of the beautiful things of being in a healthy relationship or a marriage, is that you get to grow in a lot of ways. You get to expand who you are, emotionally, right? Even when you have when you're making a baby and you're pregnant, you're expanding your whole body, right? For this relationship, you expand on the way your mind works, on how your self mastery. You take control of yourself, and you learn to assert yourself in a way that is healthy and productive, um, not defensive and not negative. And you also are honest with whatever your sexual needs are, and how they're changing or transforming, and voice that part out. And if there's something inside of you that you've always wanted to explore, now you're in a beautiful relationship where you can. And um and you don't have to experience your life and love with any limitations. You actually, truly give the gift of loving someone and receiving love effectively on a massive scale, in a way that I think it's meant to be experienced, because um some couples don't require to really talk about their sexual needs, and I guess they're just, they're happy with however things are, and I respect that. But I think in some relationships that transforms itself, along with many other things transform themselves in the relationship. So to be able to discuss those things, so that the expectations are not realistic, they actually are logical, and they live within the reality of the relationship, right? And that you can say, I can handle that responsibility emotionally, spiritually, physically. I can handle the responsibility of taking care of you, loving you, and being everything you need me to be when we're, having sex, making love, or you're pounding me out like carpaccio. Whatever whatever's happening on that particular day, that's also discussed. um that's that switch up that happens over the years. I think, Pokman, that a lot of times men, a real man, a man who's serious and provides and protects and is about his business. A lot of times women, we have the opportunity and the privilege to be loved by men like this and taken care of by men like this. um and the woman is able to heal in that space, and sometimes you can't predict that. You cannot predict what it's like to be loved by a man, hugged by a man. Like, if you didn't grow up with that necessarily, maybe your dad was not an affectionate person, maybe you just didn't have your father around for whatever reason, or you just didn't come from a household where you got that level of support and attentiveness, and now you're with someone who is like giving you all of that. And not just like on the basics, like even intimately, he's giving you that. He's giving you the caretaker, the protector energy. He's really like filling you with that. And in that, you get turned on, you know that turns you on, and in turn it makes you want to please him, because he's giving you this that you never had, and he's giving it to you on such a high level that sometimes it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in when somebody loves you that way. And sometimes women can get scared of that, because it's a lot. It could be a lot to take in when somebody completely adores you that way, and gives you the authority within this space to be assertive and be confident, because they're just giving you the opportunity to completely be accepted and be who you are. And in turn, they're really giving you the opportunity to be assertive and confident, because you don't have to hide anything. You don't have to hide anything. And you get to really walk the earth, unlike many women who are out there complaining. You're like, oh, I stand in my light. I get celebrated. I get loved. I have a husband who's monogamous, and that's important to me. And in turn, I make myself completely available to him, unabashedly, unapologetically, um, and it gives me confidence and assertiveness in my relationship and me as a person. And I don't deal with the stuff that women have to deal with, who also require monogamy. You step up to the plate as a female, and you really surrender and give your husband everything he needs, along with your mind and your body and your heart. You really hand him your fantasies, your vagina. You don't weaponize it. So, does anybody have any questions? Yeah, people, it's important that people understand that in some situations, I think people are caught up in some of the fairy tale of marriage or some of the fairy tale of being in love, and they really should have a conversation. They really should set up a time to discuss a lot of the important details in a relationship. Um, I believe you should have a contract where a lot of things are illustrated and put on paper and signed, especially if monogamy is expected. I think if a woman expects monogamy from a man, then she should know what are his needs in every way. What do I need to do to assure that you will be monogamous in this relationship, in this marriage? And he needs to tell her A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z, and start the alphabets again if you need to. He needs to tell her. And then she needs to say, oh, yes, I could do that. Oh, I've never done that. Oh, she needs to tell him what she could deal with, what she cannot deal with, what areas she's deficient in, what things excite her about his request, along with sharing her interests and fantasies, and really make the conversation fun and healthy. And I have these cards that I think are fun. You can get cards, you can get games as a couple to bring out that side of you. You get some cards, you put a nice bottle of vodka in the freezer, and you do shots each other, and you loosen up. You put some music, and you go into that space of that energy together, and just really detail out what the expectations are. um, and once that is established and you sign on the dotted line, you're able to really live a fulfilling life. And that dynamic and that contract could change and be redefined, and we could revisit that. But to have that beautiful opportunity in your relationship, when the time is right, to have that conversation is honorable. It's noble. It's really is a noble act to yourselves and to the relationship, to what you're nurturing and building. Because then, if you have children, or when you have children, you're setting this precedent of communication in your home that will translate into how your children deal with life, um, and how they interact with their partners when they find or meet somebody that's suitable and compatible. So I definitely think that, especially if um, especially if you have a high libido level, especially some women want monogamy. That's not. Yeah, I don't believe in monogamy. I believe that if a man agrees to the monogamy, that's fine. But when he's out and if he's able to get away with it when he's away from you, he will. That's just what I think. He might tell you that because he loves you and he wants to, be with you, and even might agree to it through the contractual agreement that I just described. And it's all because he's making sure you get what you need. What he decides to do when he steps outside that door that you won't ever really know about is none of your business. He's he's doing what he agreed to in the contract, and so are you. You have no control. You can never control a man. You can't control a man. You can control a male, I guess, but a man, a man, what we're talking about here. He's gonna do what he wants to do. He's just gonna handle it in a certain way so it doesn't get messy at home. So Anybody have any questions? It's a little quiet in the chat. Um, I think that I think also that with with technology and social media and all these things, um, it shows people their options. It shows people what's out there, and sometimes that could be the cause, or that could be the catalyst to really ruining um our relationship, right? Because I scared the chat 30 folks. Because sometimes also women who want monogamy, they don't stay sexy or looking fine. Excuse me. You know what I mean? They want monogamy, but they don't stay sexy. They don't stay fit. They don't stay feminine. They put all this additional demands and requirements, almost like a torturing the man. And I think social media really impacts that. So women, I think it's important to keep your sexy. I think it's important to keep them enticed and keep them seduced, and that you do the work, within yourself, especially because it's painful, right? If you've been in a relationship and you were promised monogamy and then you were betrayed and then you gave a person another chance, right? um Become very interested in what it is that that the man you're with needs, and if you really could give it to him. And if you cannot, then you do have to kind of protect yourself. You do have to maybe walk away from that, because oh, you don't think I scared the chat, Jenny? um if you cannot be what he wants and he needs, then you really have to renegotiate that within yourself and see what you're willing to change or not. You're not going to be able to change him. um that's not going to change, so make sure you know who you're with. um I'm just going to give some final thoughts here and wrap this up. I just want to say thank you for everyone who stopped by. It's always nice to see all of your faces and just have these conversations and bring light to just information that might help some of you, or in how your relationship is successful, or maybe just bring more success to it. And also for women to be strong, but not be strong in the sense of like, I can do it without you. That's not realistic to me. Be strong and truly being that female that your man wants and needs, unabashedly. And if it's something that goes against the current because you just never were exposed to that level of love, appreciation, and naughtiness, do the work. Take the time to get to know what it is about you that that you need to peel away so you could become who you are supposed to be, which is who you already are, right? Basically, like you are what you're supposed to be. Now you gotta let go of what you used to be, the thing that you were programmed with, uh, and use that opportunity to free yourself with your man. And it's no one's business. No one has to know what's going on. Oh yeah, Pokemon. It's important. I tend to overshare as well, but I want people to understand that over here at a Black Men Unfiltered Network, we want to bring a diversity of conversations. Hi,
What's
Dirty.
poppin', Pippin?
How are you, sweetheart?
I came to make your show better. You losing your audience. And I was like, yo, you intimidating them, yo.
Yeah, why? Why do you say that?
Um,
The topic is too much?
nah, I don't think the topic is too much. I think, first of all, thank you. I owe you a thank you. Shout out to you.
Oh, thank you.
because you taught me that I was a dom. I just thought I was a bully. And I was talking to my friend about you like maybe 15 minutes ago when I saw you was on. I was like, yo, Shorty making the rounds who the sub content creator. And I was like, yo, she told me I was a dom. I ain't even think about it like that. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, bro, you literally tell stories about how you snatched the goodies, bro. I was like, yeah, but it could be available, bro. Like I didn't really know it's only a crime if they make it to the phone. Like this is what I do. Is like I try to teach guys how to get past the hump. She's sitting there quiet and she wants you to make the first move type of thing, but you're intimidated to make the first move type of thing. It's like, yo, I just make the move, yo. Like that's it. I was like, but I never thought I was dominant. I thought I was just, you know, assertive. Anyway, so thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. You have a real natural tendency for this dynamic. So I think that, when you come on the panel, you make it a lot of fun for me, because you bring like a certain type of, regular world aspect to it. But the more we talk, you and I'm like, I feel like you low key are into BDSM. Like, you may not be into the masochistic side of it, but you are into the reward good behavior, punish bad behavior. And I think that the way that you describe it is you call them train your toddlers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, when you say that, when you say train your toddlers, I translate that as he completely understands what it is like for a master, to have to train a submissive. You complete because it is, it is like training a toddler. And I think that in these monogamous relationships that some women expect from men, I think the men need to think about it kind of the way you're saying it. Like, you have to then train your toddler to be everything that she's going to have to be in order for him to give her the monogamy or alleged monogamy. Um, so, I think that couples need to understand that yes, there is training, and you shouldn't think about it as a bad thing. It's giving her the answers to the test to do everything that she needs to do to keep you home or keep you happy or keep you, you know, keep you at least not being messy. Keeping her. What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry. Okay, it was an inside joke, but I share it. So my cousins, my cousins tell a story about my escapades because I just do stuff, but it's so intrinsic into me. It's not amazing to me. So they tell a story about a time that I slapped fire from this girl in the streets, right? But I kind of remember it though. But this is what happened. She was lying. I knew she was lying, and we had already gone through this process 5 or 6 times. Like, shorty, I don't ask you questions I don't already know the answer to. I just want to see if you're gonna tell me. But I come out and tell you in a minute. I don't ask you questions I don't already know the answer to. And then she'll commit to lie. And then I got to discipline her wherever we at. Anyway, and they thought I was hilarious. They're like, yo, cuz it's crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm not crazy because I'm telling her.
Right.
I already know the answer. I just want you to admit it so we can go past it because it's a trust thing. You know what I'm saying?
But you're right, because like with me, when you said that story, I could think of my father. Like, I have a bratty rebellious side. And anytime my dad would come to me with like that kind of setup, my in my mind, I would always say, my father already knows the real answer. Am I gonna lie, or am I gonna just tell him the truth? Because I would be like, he knows. He knows. I just want to say thank you, Excel Thomas, for your Cash App. Thank you so much. Um, but you are right. You have that energy where a woman, or even if you have children, they would be like, I can't lie to him. I have to tell him the truth. It's like when I told you the story when I ate the donut and my master had to put me in the closet. And I told him, like, he came home and I said, "Oh, by the way, I ate a donut." Like that, you freaking told on yourself.
No, I
And
thought that was a crazy story. Not the story was crazy, that it was 3 days. It was like worth 1 day. I would have done it for 1 day. 3 days for a donut, that was kind of excessive. But his house, his rule.
right, right.
This is where I think people were the because I know how men date, right? Men date to please a woman. So the first 45-minute conversation that you have with a woman, that I've never listened to, by the way, until 2010, that drove me crazy. I'll never listen again. But the first 45-minute conversation is an introduction to who she is, what her experiences are, what her goals are. Everything's about her. Women really don't care what men have to say. In that first initial conversation, women don't give a shit about men. I swear to God, they don't. As a matter of fact, you'll turn a woman off
Just
telling her about yourself. Like it's
yeah,
a
yeah, you're right.
narcissistic thing, right? So I don't listen. I just put the phone
Oh
on mute.
damn, I wish I had that, Jenny. Damn. Damn, that sweet bread from DR. So good.
I
Sorry,
ain't
dirty
never
folks.
heard
Jenny's over here distracting me like a toddler. I'm
that.
distracted with the shiny
Food is
objects.
food is love, man. I look, if you're gonna be distracted by food, I can't do nothing to respect that. Food is
Thank
love.
you for being so understanding.
Food is love. It's a lot of things that's bullshit, but food is love. Um, since she doesn't care, guys who actually listen to that first conversation try to cater their introductory relationship to her first conversation, right? If she says she likes flowers, what type of food she says she likes, whatever it is, because they want to please her because they like her. And she likes to be liked. Doesn't it's not she likes him. She likes to be liked.
Hmm.
So guys do things in order to please her. How you start is how you finish. So now you're in a cycle of pleasing her because you started off pleasing her. I never understood that because I never listened to the first 45 minutes of the conversation. Because I'm goal oriented. I'm like, word, that's crazy. I just had a phone on mute till I hear, I think felt like I knew you my whole life. I'm like, all right, I'm finna slide through. Because I'm goal oriented. Nothing you said with clothes on matters to me anyway. But that's me. And my friends think I'm crazy. But we all score. I'm always the point man. 8 girls, I'm about to go holler at all 8 and get shows.
Right, right. Because guys like you, girls gravitate to, women gravitate to. You just have you love women, you appreciate women, you enjoy women, so you know what to do to have them play in your sandbox. You know how to lure them in, and once they're there, they're happy as pigs in mud, and the other fellas are like, dirty folks pulled that off, and it's like, hell yeah, like why wouldn't he? Oh, because they think that they're able to have uh the energy and move the way that you do, and it's when a man like you allows a woman, you give us the space to be confident and be assertive. You know what I mean? Not to just be like weak. You give us the space to be like confident. You don't want to have a submissive who's just like a weak thing. You want a submissive who stands proudly to be your submissive, and that no one can shame her, no one's going to take away from her, because that's the thing that people do. They have a negative association with it, but they don't understand the privilege for a woman when she does submit to a man, that she walks to earth unlike most women, where she doesn't have to think about or doubt or have uncertainty because her man is 100%. He's not into playing. That's not how he moves. He tells her what it is, and that's what it is, and then she agrees and consents to it. Um, so
That's which brings us to the second part. You are a submissive. And that's why I thanked you because most women aren't. Most women place, but they're not, right? Most women want to submit, but they're not submissive. Sexually submissive, not
Right.
submissive, personality wise. So that leads to conflict. But you're absolutely right. What guys don't get is the same things that I do with guys, I do with girls, right? And I didn't realize it to girls be like, I'm about to go hang out with my guys. Oh, you about to go on your little boy date? Bitch, it ain't no boy date. But that's that's how she interpreted. Like you and your guys about to go eat and then watch TV. That's like movie and a dinner. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like we about to go to the Chinese buffet, then we gonna watch the game. She's like, yo, that's movie and a dinner. That's your boy date. So when you see it in that auspice, everybody likes the same type of stuff. They just like it in different, in different style. The the thing that's refreshing, and this is why you're lost, because a lot of people are afraid of dominant men. They tell you domination is toxic. You want a person to dominate in the boardroom, dominate on the court, be quote unquote the leader of their group, but you think he's not going to dominate because that's what he is, right? Women who are dominant, that's what they're trying to be. They're trying to be a school principal and have authority. It's the mix
Right.
up of girls that say, I want a single mother syndrome. I got to be tough because I'm mommy and daddy. So I want to be loving and I got to be tough.
Right.
It's not how men operate. You know what I mean? Because a dominant man isn't a tough man necessarily.
Right.
It's just, he just ain't going. Like,
Right. It's just the way he carries his power and how he distributes power in any given circumstance. And he doesn't have to, like you say, he doesn't have to raise a voice. He doesn't have to use violence. He doesn't have to use hostility. The way that and it's like you said, like you don't question your power when you walk into the room, you walk with your power. So if you distribute power, right, to your employees or your submissives, or even to the barista when you go get your coffee, that's how you operate in a fair power exchange. You give the person enough power, enough power, and then you're able to take it back. And you don't, and it doesn't take away from you. It does not take away from how you move, and it's not something you need to think about. It's just the way that you show up. And when men show up like that, I think women could smell it. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, this guy looks like he has the power, but he's just smoke and mirrors. And then let's say someone like you walks in, and just the way you crack a joke, or the way that it's just, you could just, I mean, for me, I could tell the wannabes from the real ones. And when a real one walks into the room, I see the females that we're all like, oh, what's up with him? Something about, he's like quiet. He moves through the room, says hi, cracks a little joke, but he's not overly trying to get attention. He could care less if he gets any attention. That doesn't have anything to do with I have no need to dominate my woman and things. That's, I mean,
a month ago, I would have debated that. I saw that comment. And as I read the comments, you said a key word. You were talking about power. You don't have to dominate your relationship if your goal in a relationship is love. If you want to be loved, you don't have to dominate your relationship because you're not a dominant person. That's a personality trait. I am a dominant person. I talk power all the time. All the time.
right.
So up to
Hi,
the 34th part.
Stephen. Sorry. Hi,
So
Stephen.
so when I so for me, it's not that I'm dominating any relationship. It's everybody knows pass the ball to LeBron. It's not because LeBron like give me the ball. It's everybody knows Jordan gonna take the last shot. Kobe gonna take the last shot. It's because they put 10,000 hours of practice in and they're confident in their abilities, and everybody has confidence in them for them to do what they are supposed to do, and they want it. They're not running from it. If you want to just be part of a team, then Robert Horry got 7 rings. He got more rings than LeBron. I mean, and Mike, you know what I'm saying? Everybody except Bill Russell, never been starter. That's fine. Everything works for everybody. There's not that many submissive, well, especially not submissive colored women, but there's not that many submissive women to have to actively seek a dominant man. That's why she's saying she can tell the smoke and mirrors. She can tell the people who dress like a boss versus the person who, even though he dressed like the boss, the guy he shook hands with, who was just chilling in the cut, like, I'm just here, B. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go through that. Like when I go to the club in Chicago, I don't pay for clubs. I go to the door and the bouncers be like, man, you can't come in. I'm like, man, you better go get the owner. And the owner come down like, yo, my man dirty. Just let him slide. Don't even frisk him. That's that's a minor flex. And people like, yo,
Right.
that's a flex. I be like, yo, it's not a flex. I'm just cheap. I don't want to pay $20. But I still use the social currency to bypass the bouncer and not get frisked so I can, keep my protection. What's going on, world class? How you feeling, baby?
Hi, Noble. Is he there?
Man, yeah, I went and made a peanut butter sandwich or something. Vegan
Oh,
ass
peanut
meal.
butter. Is that vegan?
No GMO, no peanut butter
No
sandwich.
peanut butter sandwich and no
Peanut
peanuts.
butter sandwich
I'm in
holding.
now. What's going on?
Ah, Dirty Folk says you went to make a peanut butter sandwich with, and I said, but he's vegan. He goes, with no peanuts.
Peanut
Wouldn't
butter
that be
sandwich.
vegan?
No GMO, no peanuts. Peanut butter sandwich.
I should go eat
Oh,
a. I should go eat a roll sandwich then, right? That's what y'all be eating, a flesh sandwich
I
or
don't
ass
talk
sandwich.
food. I don't like to talk food with you, Noble, because I don't like to. I don't want to gross you out, and I feel
Y'all
bad
not gonna grow.
that you
Y'all ain't
go.
gonna grow. I ain't gonna grow. You ain't gonna gross me out.
I feel
I'm,
bad.
shout out to the chat, Jenny and them. First off, you look absolutely beautiful tonight, Lexi.
Oh,
She
thank
does. She does.
Love you.
you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Beautiful outfit. Love the contrast. Love the topic. I'm definitely anti-monogamy. I think it's horrible. I always say I'm gonna actually do a show on this. I might even just do a video because I be trying to do diss records on stuff. So I'm gonna do a diss video on monogamy. People often people are blaming feminism for what monogamy created.
Right.
Like before feminism really took place, you know what I'm saying, in the 60s, monogamy was already destroying our community. Like people want to go back to the nuclear family, nuclear family. Like that sounds great, but the nuclear family produced the people that fell for the bull crap in the 60s. Like indigenous, autochthonous Americans and Africans, we polygamy and polygyny was the foundation of our uh, households. Well, cultures and villages. So when we fake got out of slavery, we was handed this bull stuff, this BS. I often say, look, we went into monogamy. I mean, we went into what they call slavery, which is really dehumanization. Came out in the 1800s, late 1800s, and when we went in, we lost all of our names, we lost our wealth, we lost our crowns, and then somehow through the magic of Disney, we upgraded in one place only, supposedly as monogamous. And it's just not human, man. It's literally the number one weapon against our people. And like you said earlier, when you have a hard limit like that, it's literally that verbatim, even outside of the verbiage for BDSM. Like it limits a male from being a male. It's like you literally cannot be a Christian or Muslim or whatever you want to call it, Hebrew Israelite being monogamous. Because I'll crush your life right now. Monogamy means to marry one person in your entire lifetime. That's what monogamy actually means. How many wives did Adam have? Let me be specific. How many wives did God give Adam?
Two at least.
God gave Adam two, so that would not be monogamy. You literally are heathen participating in it, and it produces evil, despicable people, and it puts a burden on a woman that she is not designed to have. She's not
Mm.
designed to have all. She has to be the decision maker. She has to be the person that literally in monogamy, the woman is the dominant.
But you know what you're saying is true. Like when a woman does put that dominance, directly or indirectly, that dominant stance for requesting the relationship for him to be monogamous, she's really introducing the devil into the relationship. She's
Hmm.
introducing something negative and something destructive into the relationship because now she's asking him to go against his natural nature. And it's like, she's putting him in a situation that even if he flirts with somebody, he could feel guilt. Even if he feels
Right.
a little bit of guilt, I don't want my man walking the earth feeling anything but loved, adored, worshiped, and that I'm devoted to him. I don't want him to have guilt, uncertainty, doubt. I don't want that. That's not going to bring productive, beautiful things into our life. I want him just like he wants me to walk the earth with confidence and
Hmm.
assertiveness based on the power that he gives me, right? Because it's not for me to be like a doormat. Like when you have a master who really knows how to distribute power as a submissive, he's giving you the gift of assertiveness and confidence because you don't have to be submissive to anybody else but him. So
Exactly.
when you're out in the world, you don't deal with people the way you deal with him, which when you're submissive and you don't have that guidance, you kind of submit to everybody
Exactly.
and you walk away with nothing. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? Because no one's told you, hey, you only submit to me, baby girl. When you go out there, you kick some ass and you strut your shit. Don't you? You don't submit to anybody else. And when you don't, when you restrict the man of what he's really capable of in bringing a woman into herself, because she's already that. She just has to remove all these shells to
Thank
be
you.
exactly what she already is. If she doesn't fight that feeling, she really truly gets to live in a space that most women can only dream of. And
Hmm.
she was able to negotiate her hard limits. She was able to say to him, if you go on vacation with the fellas, if you go out with the fellas, I don't want to know about stuff. Don't bring that here. That she could be honest. What is she gonna do? I'm with a man, he has a high libido level. He's hot, he's got his shit together. Other women are gonna be drawn to him. I don't want him to be out there and be like, oh, my girl at home. That's corny. That makes me look stupid. I would be like, babe, you didn't talk to her. You didn't like do something. No, I didn't want to disrespect her. I'm like, you're a whack. That like,
You a
like
munch. You a munch.
A munch. I rebuke you one. What is a munch? I, I agree with Noble for a different reason. And I said in the chat, I don't think that you can be submissive and be monogamous. I said that in the chat. I agree, but for different reasons. Because I see everything corporate, right? So an upgrade from a toddler to me is a secretary. And I tell people all the time, I say, man, you can't let your girl go outside and have four masters, right? So think about it. Her employer is her master. That's her paymaster. Then she has a pastor that's her spiritual master. Then, Lord, don't let her have kids because she'll put the kids above you. So now the kids are her master. They make the head the foot, and now they say you're the head of the family, but you're really the foot, and you're the last person on the totem pole. That doesn't work for me. I ain't going, right? The 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 reason I don't believe that monogamy works past the sexual part, because to be perfectly honest, I could just sexually be monogamous with a girl because I don't always feel like hunting. I'm chilling. But I need her to have somebody else to argue with because you're not going to argue with me. My job training my toddlers to give you other toddlers so y'all can play and fight and do all that. And then y'all come to daddy to break up the discord. But I will not be part of the discord. I'll be the solution because that's what men do. We solve problems. But women don't have problems. Women have issues. There's no solution to an issue. When your girl comes back home from work and tells you everything that happens in her day, she doesn't want you to respond. She doesn't want obvious solution. She doesn't want that. She just wants to vent. And she'll tell you, why can't you just listen to me? You're always trying to fix stuff. You need to talk to your girls. Go find your sisters. Talk to them about it. Come to me when there's a problem that needs a solution. That's where I operate. And that's where most men operate. That's our space.
do you guys have like guy friends who are unfortunately in the toxicity and in the traps of having to like adhere to monogamy and and uh and like they talk to you about it, and you can't stand their girls or something because they're just too much. Because I see some women that I'm just like, oh my God, how can he even stay with her? Like
I
she's too much.
said that about my parents. But I do you one better. When my friend Brian got married, we were at his bachelor party. His best friend Bill and me, we at the bachelor party. Yeah, that's what's up, man. We'll eat chicken now. Well, he said, man, I bet $100 they don't last 6 months. I said, I bet 100 they don't last 12 months. I'm gonna give him 6 months. We making bets on his divorce at the bachelor party.
Oh
We
my
ma-
gosh.
Now just because I think he's a hater. He didn't know about the bet, but neither one of us won. They were separated within 5 months.
Oh.
So Bill would have won, but they didn't get divorced. Then they reconciled for a minute. We all went there for Thanksgiving dinner. By Christmas, they were separated again, planning a divorce, but they didn't get divorced for 13 months. So he beat the spread. He beat the spread.
Right.
But yeah, the thing about love is duty for especially for guys. Love is duty. We do things to show you we love you. The lights
Mhm.
come on, cool, right? For women, love is romance. It's the flowers, it's the dinners. For guys, it's yo key still work, right? Like, okay, we good. So when the romance fades and the duty is there, a lot of women take the duty as um an entitlement. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, for me. But I also extended it to you. Show some appreciation, right? Show me the same appreciation you'll show your social worker if you don't pay that $16 rent or whatever it is.
Right.
You need that extension. Show me that same consideration. Show me that same customer service you show for your employer because you're only in a relationship 4 hours a day. Besides work and sleep, you only have 4 conscious hours you're really in a relationship. Show me 4 hours of customer service. I'm a part-time job.
Mhm.
For your key to work when you try to open this motherfucking door, I'm a part-time job. Those are concepts that are supposed to be taught from mother to daughter. And how to train your child is supposed to be concepts taught from men to boys. But since everybody raised by women, the men are looking for love. So that's why I can't begrudge people when you ask that question to know men who date for love instead of duty. Then I know guys like that. What a Baltimore boy that eat GMO peanut butter sandwich.
Hi, beautifully animated.
Hey, beautiful. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Girl, when you said I was looking at the chick like, ew, what's he doing with her? I had to come and support my sis, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, the guys really think that we're always on the side of the females because we're females, and no,
Right.
I'm on the side of what's real. Okay, so I'm like you, sis. Sometimes some of these chicks, I'm like, no.
Right. Right. It's like if it's like if you know that your man has a certain type of appetite,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, then you need to keep it together, and you need to exercise that part of yourself of like, because maybe you're with somebody, he has a high libido level, and he's into things that you never did. What are you going to do? You're going to say, oh no, I'm not going to do that. You're going to, as a woman, I've had to do it myself, especially, with my BDSM, because I have hard limits, and I have had to be like, oh my God, I need to get over this. I need to see this as something that's going to make me more confident. It's going to strengthen who I am. It's not taking away from who I am. Just because I grew up with these beliefs about relationships or these beliefs
yeah,
about sex, now I'm going to potentially ruin the happiest relationship of my life because I'm not going to do XYZ because I didn't grow up that way. And then I'm going to think that he's supposed to give up on that fantasy or give up on that need And no, like no, a woman really, in order for her to trust that the monogamy is really there, she really needs to put in a lot of work, and she needs to take upon herself the responsibility of whatever his needs are so that he can maintain this promise of monogamy. You know, and whatever that might be, you know, she has to stay in shape, she has to cook, she has to provide him certain sexual activities that he enjoys. That
Yeah, I mean, I like cooking for my man. I mean, I saw that in my last relationship and whatever. Um, Especially since it was a serious relationship and stuff, like, you know, like that's just something I wanted to do naturally. You know what I'm saying? It
yeah,
wasn't to
because it
be a
feels
certain
good.
way. It's
It
what I
feels
wanted to
good.
do naturally for my man. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a good feeling when, you know, as a woman, when you have had enough experience that you are, you know, with a man and you're like, oh, he makes me want to naturally do XYZ. It's like, because I've had little experiences that I'm like with a guy and I like him for XYZ reasons, beautifully animated, but he's too vanilla. And
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't inspire me to make him even a damn
Not even a PBJ, goddamn.
girl, not even a buttery toast. I don't even want to shave my legs. I'm like, oh, that guy, he doesn't do it for me. And then, you know, then you come across
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you're into that he just hits those notes within you. And you're like, all of a sudden you care about all these things, you know, that sometimes you need to have a man really like help you get your shit together. You know what I mean? That you're just like, oh damn, I better, you know, get my hair done, shave these legs, get my feet, my nails popping, do some
Right.
laundry, clean my house, clean that, you know. You're just like, because otherwise I don't respond. If I don't feel that resonate within me, then everything for me is way too much effort and it's not gonna come across genuine. And I
Yeah.
would rather, you know, I would rather, like what you're saying, have someone that I just feel like I just want to please him. Um,
Yeah. I mean, because then, first of all, it doesn't feel like you're working for your
right.
man and stuff like that. You're just doing.
Why do you think some women are so defensive about like just like appreciating the monogamy, not weaponizing sex, and being that he requires in order for him to really adhere to the monogamy? Why do you think
They're either weak or they're childish or they're both. Like, who plays games but children?
it's
I'm
like
not.
they
I'm.
want the guy to be like a mannequin or something like that.
I
Like,
wasn't into games. Like not even in high school. Okay, I wasn't into games when it came to relationships and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you know, I grew up watching it, watching other people play games. I'm just like, I still don't get it.
right.
I still don't get it.
I
So
I see you know, I see some women, I see some men in monogamous relationships that I feel like they are in a domestic violence situation.
right, without the DV, but
Oh, right. It's like,
they just look so worn out.
yes, they look
No one in a
like I want to
relationship should
save
look
them.
that
I
way.
want to say, come with me. Leave her. Come with me over here. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because I hate to
right.
see guys walk around like, you know, when you go to when you go to Walmart or Target or you go to family places, you know, and you see these poor husbands defeated, like, and the wife, she thinks she's the prize. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, she really does. Like she, like not only has she fucked up his head, she's fucked up her own head. And it's like, it's not.
You're
it don't
right.
be entirely their fault, because they'll be the ones who's talking with their group of friends, which is like 10, 20 females.
Right.
No one should have a group that big that you're telling your personal business to.
But you know what? It goes to what you were saying that women like you and I, we're not into we're not into bashing men. We're not into bashing men. And those women, they don't get together to find solutions. They get together to
Cause more trouble.
berate and debase the man, and then egg each other on to go home and be even more reckless.
Right.
And
get him, girl. Get him. Get him.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. Like, go home and now she, instead of her listening to somebody or reading something to help her find solutions, she's just, oh wow, look how different you look, Noble. But
I don't even know who that is.
oh my God, you look so different from then.
I like your haircut. I do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
He's got the handsome face, so he's easy on the eyes for the ladies. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have
you forgot to lick your finger and do your brows.
Dang. He's giving us that R&B. He's giving us that R&B. We're gonna need I want a poster. I want a poster for my bedroom, Noble.
Coming right up.
I want to put it right there, right up on the wall. Like, oh my God, he's so hot.
Girl, right?
Don't make me blush. I'm already purple. But you know what? What you
YouTube could do a goddamn calendar making a whole bunch of happy girls.
Yeah, you see. You say for you to make a calendar.
No, I told you that R&B background. I told you that months ago on Palmer show, boy.
But
all I want is as background, man. That's what it is.
But I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for coming up. We're gonna do some final thoughts. I think maybe we could start with the gentleman, and then have you beautifully animated. So if Dirty Folks wants to start, and then we'll go to Noble, and then beautifully animated, and then I'll wrap it up. But I just want to say thank you to you guys for coming up and supporting. I appreciate it. And also for the chat, for keeping it interesting and contributing their perspectives as well. So Dirty Folks. Oh, we're gonna go with Noble for okay. Noble, you can go ahead first.
So definitely peace to the chat. I love the topic. I've been talking about this for a minute. I think one of the things people need to realize is that when you got a lot of these women that are in this monogamous mindset because they are being submissive to other women, and they're doing what other women say. They got other women being their masters, being their mom, aunt, when in reality, got two monogamous women, it's a conflict of interest. It really doesn't make any sense for you to be listening to them. So you got a mom that's single, a daughter that's single. Y'all really at war when the guy comes up. So like I said, we blame feminism for what monogamy created. 100% of what's wrong with feminism, monogamy created. Females have to eat each other for them to be whatever this be the only.
Well, that's quite the visual. That's quite the visual.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. They definitely they have to be eating each other because they get dressed up for each other. They don't get dressed up for us. Because if it was up to me, y'all just be y'all still had bow rats or something with your head in a ponytail and your never mind, I ain't gonna go no further.
Yeah, a little uniform there. A little uniform there.
Yeah, sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? We don't need all that because I don't want you. You know what's crazy? Like I can go on Facebook right now and look at somebody's wife's vagina print. Like right now, I could go on it, and that's just it's weird to have that dynamic in this bull crap monogamy stuff. Then, as you said, and you've been stating, you got dudes that have wives that refuse them sex. So you bond me into this relationship where your entire self worth and value system is for me to be with you, just you.
Hold on.
Then,
Can I double check what you just said? Did you
then
say multiple wives and they all withholding?
And they said monogamous.
no, monogamy,
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
you in this monogamous situation where you got to be with this one chick for the rest of your life for whatever reason, and then you can't have it when she feel like it. That's crazy to me.
That's
I would never.
crazy, bro.
That's
That's
crazy.
that's
And
why
then
it's
you
crazy.
already know one week or one couple of days out of 1 week you can't hit it. And then if you don't want children, you can't do the ovulation. So that's basically 2 weeks it's gone. So you really only got about, I guess 104 weeks to get it in.
That's not fair.
Meanwhile,
Noble. That's not fair. I'm with you, but you know they sync up. So if you got two in one room, you still.
no. This is monogamy.
I
This is
know. I'm
monogamy.
even in polygamy they sync up. It's a waste. You got to keep them in separate rooms or something.
Yeah. So I feel sorry for y'all. That's got to go. They got to go through that. I don't. I will never have to go through that. It's horrible. I'm too cute for that. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to go through that. You guys got to go through that. It is what it is. Pokemon, do you a favor because you're a member. Um, yeah, nah. I gave you something easy, that everybody can look up. When you get Wikipedia sites, you're supposed to just look up the sources, but you may not have the research skills. I don't matter what I get, Wikipedia, congressional records, it's the same process. You come to the same conclusion. True is true. So if you don't know about the book that Lilith came out of, you don't know that the Bible is mixing what is it called? The King James version is missing, I think, 33 books. If you don't know that in 2022, I can't help you. Etymology, parse, syntax, like when you look in a Bible, you look at a book like Genesis, you need to get the meaning of the word. You need to get the how many verses is in that book. That means something. How many words is in each verse? That means something. Do etymology, parsing, and syntax on each verse. It's a lot. So that little stuff that y'all used to don't work over here. I hurt your little feelings a little bit. But appreciate you, Lucky, Lexi. I keep calling you Lucky. I call Lucky Lexi and Lexi Lucky like 100% of the time.
Cause
It's
she's
But
okay.
lucky.
I
Look at
rather
the
I
advice she
don't mind.
gives.
I don't mind being confused or intertwined or entangled with Lucky.
yes,
If it was somebody else, then I would be like, that sucks.
yeah. No, it's a lot of cute between the two of y'all. So
Well, you attract all the girls. You get all the girls over there.
I'm glad you got the milkshake. Let me find out.
Yeah,
you say milkshake? What's wrong with you?
you know.
All right,
We
but
have we're name tags. We need to get little name tags for you, world class.
They can
amen.
kiss my delicious ass is what they can do.
Queen Smiley and
It's Queen Smiley for me. But
Oh my gosh.
Oh, colors are hilarious.
all right,
But thank you, Noble. I appreciate you so much, and um,
we'll be
you know,
waiting for your part of the calendar.
yeah, oh yeah, right.
That is sexual harassment, ladies.
what's going on?
Ain't no sexual harassment over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turn around like, send me a pussy pic. I'm still waiting for a breast pic from my little terrorist. And
Well,
Oh, damn, damn! They turned the lights up in the club.
all right, man. I'm gonna make it quick. Great show. I told you I was gonna make your shit live, bro. I told you I'm pop up, and everybody popped up because everybody wanted to defend you from me. They thought I was gonna be mean to you, but I like you. But most girls are dumb, but you cool though. So they be like, I gotta protect her, but you good.
Well, you
Um,
said girls. She's a grown ass woman. See, that's the difference.
all right. The great topic.
Thank
Noble was right about girls have to fight each other. If they don't, they'll fight their man. That's why polygamy works. To give you somebody to hit with a pillow. Um, the sidebar, nothing to do with this, but just on some Pogman, right before I saw Lexi was on, I didn't even know she had a show. I thought she was guest hosting on somebody else's show. I'm like, yo, they just left out here by herself for a long time. I was like, yo, I think this is her show. I'm gonna help out. But right before that, I was on the phone with my guy. And it's crazy. We were just having this conversation about Lilith. Promise to God, about Eve and Lilith. And I was just telling him, I said, man, Adam ate the apple because he felt capitulated to do so by his wife because that was his second wife. Like, men don't like to fail, and you sure don't want to fail at love twice. You lost your first wife to Lucifer. Now she chilling, she hanging out with him, thought you was a lame. Now you get a second wife, and he could have easily gone back, if you believe in the scripture and the story. He could have easily gone back like, yo, God, this one broke too. But he was like, yo, I'm gonna make this work. And because he wanted to make it work, he ate the apple. Nothing happened when Eve ate the apple. Bad stuff only happened when Adam ate the apple because you're not supposed to listen to a toddler. So that was the penance of listening to women. The penance is still you don't want to fail at your relationship. Men really don't. 90% of the 80% of divorces are women. 90% if she got a college education, so she could read past sixth grade level, don't marry you. Keep your toddlers tolerant, bro. Anyway, and because of that, men work so hard to keep relationships together. Men will stay in a relationship with no sex. Well, they not having sex together. They might both be having sex, all you know, but they ain't having sex together. And he'll still pay the bills and make sure food in the refrigerator. Men will tolerate disrespect that they would not tolerate from a man in the street. I say all the time, girls do something twice a day you'll kill a man for because you allow it.
Yeah.
Because men don't want the relationship to fail. Because men are love. Women go like, I love hard. Women don't love hard. They're just emotional. Emotions are just random. Men are love. Women reflect men's love. Men have unlimited amounts of love. Women love one thing at a time. They love it with all their heart, one thing at a time. Like with multitask, girls can multitask. They love one thing at a time, one guy at a time. They could be married, have a side dude. The side dude hit it right, shit, set up a husband up to get robbed because she loved the side dude now. Women love one thing at a time. Men's love is unlimited because men's love is unlimited and men's duty is unlimited to what he loves, whether it's his cars, his girl, his dogs, whatever, his kids, whatever the case may be. His sports team, niggas be fanatics.
Right.
Men will go all out for what he loves and they'll take disappointment over. I live in Chicago. All our teams suck. The Bulls, the Bears, the Sox, the Cubs, Blackhawks, all right. And dudes never switch teams. Like, yo, I'm a Bears fan. Bears ain't even going to the playoffs. I'm a Bears fan. Men, and still buy the jerseys, right? Spend money to love. A loser.
Right.
So they do the same thing with their girls. Men capitulate a lot for love. And they give a lot of duty for what they love. And because of that, they don't want the relationship to fail because that means he feels like a failure because he failed at convincing another object that he loved, another person of affection that he loved, that to love him back. But that's not her job. Her job is not to love you back. Her job is to fulfill her duty. Your employer don't care if you love your job or not. They just want you to be there and don't be 6 minutes late. If I love a woman who won't, I tell a girl quick though. I'm like, yo, either we having sex or I'm having sex, but you we getting together, and you might as well throw it back or be mad tomorrow because I'm scoring. But that's because I have a dominant personality, and you should sleep on the couch. Shorty, I pay the rent, nigga. You sleep on the couch, nigga.
Right. Right.
But that's just me. The reason that she'll say something like that is because most men be like, okay, she's mad.
Yeah.
I'll sleep on the
Yeah.
couch. I ain't going nowhere. Nigga. I
That
bought
shit's for the TV, goddamn. Keep that shit in TV shows, motherfucker. Sleeping on the couch.
Right.
Please.
I would be if I was a guy and a girl told me that, I would be like, really? I would handcuff her to the radiator. You see? That's what I be like, you want to play some games? Your family's gonna have to file a missing person report because you out of control.
You know what's so funny about that, Lex? Me at this age, I would do it. When I heard it first, I was like 20. I was like, shit, got me messed up because I wasn't never going. But now, I'm setting up a room. It's called a sound room. Y'all could Google it. A sound room, ironically enough, has no sound, so you can literally hear your heartbeat, but you can't hear your breath. It's a bunch of cushion, a bunch of egg
Yeah.
cartons. I don't know, so you can't hear anything. I'm setting up because I ain't going around just beating up toddlers. I'm putting them on timeout, and I'm making
Yeah.
a silent room, so she just there wishing she was dead because she can actually hear her neural connect in her brain like it's so quiet. That's what I'm gonna do because I understand that women are social creatures way more than men. Men could just be alone, do nothing. We don't have to even have a TV on, TV watching us. We just there. Women are social creatures. So to be isolated like that has to be a punishment worse than getting
It's
whipped.
the worst. It
Just
it
like
changed it changed my behavior. It worked on me. And it's like you've said before, dirty folks, in other panels we've been on, you've said like you have to give her something to do.
gotta give it something. I tell people that I say, man, George Jefferson made it rich and Weezy still had to go to the help center. You gotta give her something to do, or you gonna be what she do. And you don't want
Right.
Yeah.
and some of you said, and I'm about to go off. Some of you said, Lexi, earlier about when you were saying something about your dad. In the capitulation that generally speaking, colored girls hate their kids to have fathers. They think every season, stepdaddy season, so they can have control of the relationship and control of the kids without having to bow down to somebody. That's why I appreciate you for making me realize that I'm just dominant. It's not a male female thing. It's a dom sub thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But when I look at women overcompensate the single mothers and beat the dog crap out their sons because they like, I gotta be mama and daddy. What they don't realize is don't dads lecture you to death. You don't want to hear the talk. You know what I'm saying? So that goes to the silent room, so you won't get that talk. But I appreciate you letting me on, and peace to the chat, man. It was a good show.
Thank you, dirty folks. Miss Beautiful, beautifully animated.
um, if you want to be in a monogamous relationship and stuff like that, you gotta bust it down like Whitney said. I'm every woman. It's all in me.
Emotional, damn it.
But if you don't want him to step out, you gotta be all things to him. That's how I see it.
You're 1,000% right.
Who wants to be in a relationship and get bored? That's the worst thing ever.
Absolutely.
When you're bored in your relationship is dead.
Absolutely. You're 1,000% right. And I love that you're using this space to bring back the spark in some people's lives and provoke some thought into taking the time, right, to get to know what your needs are, and as a couple to explore that together. But I want to say,
and also you gotta know yourself and be honest to yourself about yourself before you go seeking other people. That's how you get the right person.
If you're available tomorrow, beautifully animated, come by the World Class channel. We're gonna do our Dom submissive BDSM talk and panel, and deep dive into these type of things that we like to discuss. But
World Class?
Yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow. I think I think it's 9:30 East Coast time.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And what was the time for tonight's show? Because girl, I just popped up and saw you, so I was like, Lexi.
Tonight it was Unrealistic Expectations and Responsibilities in Monogamous Relationships.
No, I said, what time did you come on?
Oh, I came on at 4:30 Central, so 5:30 East Coast. I'm trying to do Friday midday for BMU. So it was 2:00 Pacific on Friday.
Okay, and tomorrow is
in the evening with World Class.
What time?
9:30 East Coast. 6:30 Pacific. I want you to come by with your beautiful self And
Alrighty.
your every woman.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you, beautifully animated. Well, everybody, thank you for being here. Please support the channel, support me, support all the people we have contributing on Black Men Unfiltered Network's panels. We really want to bring you information that can be transformative or just educational, and always keep a space where we can be open and honest and grow together. So I just want to say thank you for everybody being here. I wish everybody a fantastic rest of their Friday. Hug the ones you love, booty slap your ladies, love on your man, and have a fantastic weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night on the World Class, deep diving into BDSM and dominant and submissive relationships. Other than that, thank you, Black Man Unfiltered, for having me. Thank you, everyone that came up to the panel. And God bless and be well, everybody. Mwah. Take care.